All right. Let's wait a little bit for people to start funneling in. It's just all set up. Yep. Yep. There we go. I was wondering what the heck was going on. All right, we're good. What's up, chat? How we doing tonight? So DNC complaint amidst Joe Biden. Ah, this is interesting.
About how Kamala Harris has no accomplishment.
Yeah, so we'll probably just take it out of the general DNC account. Who's going to file a complaint? What? I said, who's going to file a complaint?
Last time we met Joyce DeSears, the compliance
What
manager
up, Tyler?
at DNC, who was talking openly about how Kamala Harris has no accomplishments, and the compliance manager thinks she can't win this year. Let's roll a flashback.
I like Kamala Harris, but I don't think she'd win this year. She's weirdly unpopular. She has no accomplishments to speak of because she's vice president.
Literally has zero accomplishments. None.
To our undercover OMG American swiper. This time it was on the topic of First
Yes,
Lady
sir.
Jill
What up,
Biden.
Tyler? How you
Now,
doing,
in recent
brother?
weeks, the New York Post published an article stating that First Lady Jill Biden took a personal trip to go to Hunter Biden's gun trial in Delaware from France, with the DNC covering the bill as the rest of the tab would be going to the
Why, though?
So let's dive into the analysis on this. According to the Federal Election Campaign Act, that's FECA.
Nice, dude. Yeah, it's going to be fun tonight.
Any contribution received by a candidate to be converted by any person to any personal use. Under 2, United States Code 439AB1.
Everybody, please make sure to hit that like.
Cannot pay for personal trips for political candidates or their affiliates, but only for political or campaign trips. Was the DNC illegality, or was this a legal loophole? Well, we decided to ask Joyce DeSears about this possible issue with the DNC. Here's what he had to say.
I read something this morning about the DNC having to foot part of the bill for the First Lady's trip.
This is pathetic.
Delaware from France. So is the DNC gonna cover a lot of it? Probably.
It's sad.
Yeah, we pay for a bunch of Joe Biden stuff. But that's not campaign related, but it's still okay to foot the bill? Who's going to file a complaint? What? I said, who's going to file a complaint? So if no one complains, it's okay to have the DNC cover the cost of the flights for the First Lady? Yeah, pretty much. Even though she's flying home for Hunter's trial and it's not so much campaign-related activity? Yeah.
Isn't that...
Yeah, so we'll probably just take it out of the general DNC account. So, yeah,
isn't that illegal?
Possible. There's what's called DNC operating. Coming back, it kind of is campaign related because it's a PR thing. She has to be at her son's trial. It's a political issue.
Joyce DeSears, compliance manager for the DNC, says, quote, who's gonna file a complaint?
Who's gonna
Damn.
file a complaint? What?
That's kind of crazy that she's saying that.
It's shocking what people admit when you use a hidden camera. The undercover cameras you've seen us use in the past are now available for sale. Go to our website, o'keefemediagroup.com, click on Covert Camera Store, go get the footage, send it to us, and we'll...
Very sus, Tyler.
As though DeSears is suggesting that it's okay to do it, possibly. If it's illegal, as long as nobody finds out about it or does anything about it.
It's
Now,
so
staying with
weird,
the
dude.
Post article, it appears the DNC will pay back a portion of the money to the government used for Joe Biden's personal trip.
I don't get it.
Will the DNC pay back the government? Is the DNC covering up possible financial legal issues until someone complains about it? Will they reimburse now that this
the new era of business?
I'm not sure.
Right.
Taxpayers on the hook for a portion of this personal trip. On top of all of that, why is the DNC paying for personal trips for First Lady Jill Biden at all? We don't know the answer to these questions.
I don't get it.
A lot of important questions, and we think this video will shine a light on that. Now, if you're on the inside of the DNC or the White House and notice corruption, lying, stealing, or cheating, we urge you to come forward and speak truth to power. Our country will go nowhere without people on the inside shining a light and talking about what they're seeing. Contact us at our signal number. That's 914-315-9415. We read all of them. We don't respond to all of them. We are looking for people on the inside or who have material information the public has a right to know. Or you can DM us on our X account, message us on our OMG Instagram account, and we will have one of our staffers contact you. Thank you, and stay tuned. In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape,
YouTube modes.
Being proactive about your health is paramount. That's why our OMG supporters, The Wellness Company, is proud to introduce the ultimate first aid emergency kit, meticulously crafted by its chief medical board to support life-saving readiness. When my team and I are out in the field, we always carry our TWC First Aid Emergency Kit because in an emergency, every second counts. The upgraded kit includes essential items like epinephrine for anaphylactic reactions, several common prescription medications, and many vital first aid supplies. Additionally, it features a
seemed like that was a short one. So I like what James O'Keefe does. He really goes undercover and tries to get into everything. Did you guys see Kyle Rittenhouse said he's not voting for Trump, that he's going to write in for Ron Paul? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's some other videos I watched the other day. I think it was like Trump. No, it was like 1980 to 2024. Huh, this is interesting. So this is how they feel about it. What up, DG?
Wix gives you the power.
Oh, these are Trump's views in 1980.
Would you like to be the president of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
Most people who are capable are not running for office. Most men are frightened of politics today.
It is a shame, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a shame. The most capable people are not necessarily running for political office, and that is a very sad commentary on the country. They had major corporations and they had this and that, but they are not running for political office.
Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it that somebody with
Why is he talking so fast?
And somebody with the kind of views that
they're probably speeding it up,
which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile. And that's a sad commentary for the political process.
And I know people are talking about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
Yeah, my baby girl, Jose.
Do it. I love what I'm doing.
You better like the stream then, you son of a biscuit.
No, but, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country.
Also, doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I decided to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience is, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been.
Hey, it's just true. I seen this video though. I can't. It was on my other channel. I'd have to look it up. Wait, did Kyle Rittenhouse backtrack? Instant regret. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
A few moments later.
You've got to be kidding me. Donald Trump's campaign got so upset that Kyle Rittenhouse withdrew his endorsement from Donald Trump that members of the Trump campaign called Kyle Rittenhouse to beg for his endorsement back. And it looks like Kyle Rittenhouse is giving it back to them, because this is what he said just now, and it reads, quote, "Over the past 12 hours, I've had a series of productive conversations with members of the Trump team, and I'm confident he will be the strong ally gun owners need to defend our Second Amendment rights. My comments made last night were ill-informed and unproductive. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump."
See, this is what's wrong with liberals. They can't understand that, like, you know, you can change your mind. Like, they literally live in this hive mind where they think, like, once you think something, that's it. You have to think that the rest of your life. These people don't realize this is like with J.D. Vance. How everybody's like, oh, he hated Trump. He hated Trump. So what? He might not have liked him when he first came into office. That doesn't mean that his feelings stayed the same his entire presidency. Like, that's what's wrong with these people. They don't know how to realize that you can change your mind about things. Especially if you're misinformed about something and then somebody says, hey, this, and this, and you're like, okay, you know, that makes sense then. But it's ignorance at this point.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, who just experienced a case of instant regret, because he came out and basically said that, look, guys, despite the fact that Trump supporters and Trump supported me when I needed support the most, when I was under attack by the left, they were trying to throw me in prison, okay? They're trying to take away my livelihood, and you guys financially supported me. Even though you guys did all that for me, I'm deciding that, you know what, because of certain issues, like Trump not being 2A enough, okay, I'm going to vote for Ron Paul, okay?
He's not going to win.
Kyle Rittenhouse predictably got a ton of backlash for what a lot of people see as a betrayal of Trump and also the MAGA movement. Now, probably a few hours after he announced this, he instantly decided that, you know what, I was not thinking about this correctly. Let me retract my position and come out and to say, you know what, I'm in fact going to stand behind Trump, because this is what he posted this afternoon after getting massive backlash. He says, over the past 12 hours, I've had a series of productive conversations with members of the
Yo, what up, Vaughn?
team,
How you doing, brother?
I am confident he will
Cheers.
be the strong ally gun owners need to defend our Second Amendment rights. My comments made last night were ill-informed and unproductive. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump and encourage every gun owner to join me in helping send him back to the White House. Okay, so he went from I'm voting for Ron Paul, which in my opinion, I'm not even surprised he came out and said that, because this is typically how 21-year-olds think, right? This is kind of how I thought when I was 21, right? I'm going to rebel against the system, and you know what? I'm not voting for either of the major candidates because I am pure when it comes to my policy positions, right?
The only time I'm not voting for the candidates is if I don't like either one of them. You know what I'm saying? If I don't care for either candidate, I'm not voting. I don't care. I don't care if it's a Republican, Democrat. I don't give a shit. If I don't like the Republican candidate, I'm not voting. I don't care.
Anybody that doesn't agree with me 100%, hey, I'm just not going to vote. I'm going to sit it out, or I'm going to vote for somebody else. This is how all 21-year-olds kind of think, okay? And this is why I didn't really think this was that big of a deal when this story first came out, and I'm glad I waited before I talked about it, because, again, he's already kind of retracted what he said. But you got to kind of think about it like this, okay? Look at what the left is doing with this whole issue of Israel and Gaza. Okay, you have a lot of people on the left saying, you know what, the left does not agree with me 100%. Democrats don't agree with me 100% when it comes to this issue of Israel and Gaza. So therefore, I'm sitting out, right? I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to vote for somebody else. Okay, and in my opinion, personally, I think that you kind of have something similar happening here with Kyle Rittenhouse, except he changed his mind because he may have had a battery put in his back in the first place, because according to Dom LaCour, Kyle had been working with Rocky Mountain gun owners, a gun lobby ran by serial Trump hater Dudley Brown. Rocky Mountain Gun is the Colorado affiliate of the National Association for Gun Rights. The national organization helped fund Rittenhouse amid his legal case when he was in trouble. Rittenhouse's announcement for not voting for Trump was actually posted by Dudley Brown first. That post is still on Kyle's page. This company has a history of spending tens of thousands of dollars against pro-Trump candidates. Rittenhouse.
I'm confused. Like, if these are like people that are like gun activists, why are they voting against Trump? I don't get it. Why would you, like, the Democrats don't want you to have guns. They want you to have no guns. Why would you vote? I don't know. It's just illogical to me, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
For Rocky Mountain gun owners at multiple venues and events. He is even seen wearing their shirt during his speeches and appearances. Just go to Dudley Brown's Twitter page and search.
I don't know. Like, what does it matter? I mean, I understand it's, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse was like this darling during fucking BLM and stuff, but like, if the kid didn't want to vote for Trump, just let him not vote for Trump. That's his prerogative. I don't know what to tell him. I don't think he realized that doing that, you're just giving a vote away to Kamala Harris because, you know, I don't know, whatever.
Kyle,
they can do what they want, though.
Search Trump. Okay, so here's what I believe, right? I think that there's a good chance that Dom LaCour is probably on to something, in the sense that Kyle Rittenhouse is a young, impressionable young man who got thrust into the national spotlight for unfortunately having to defend his own life during BLM protests. Now, here's the thing. My initial reaction to Kyle Rittenhouse and his announcement that he was voting for Ron Paul, again, was not very surprised, okay, especially for the reasons that he outlined, because...
Hold on, Josh. I'll show you. It's something that has to do with, like, he's not pro 2A enough or something. Let me see. Where was it? All right. So where are we at right here? We're at 1725.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, Outreach Director for Texas Gun Rights. A lot of people are upset that I said I'm going to be writing in Ron Paul for President of the United States. And that is true. I will be writing in Ron Paul. Unfortunately, Donald Trump had bad advisors making him bad on the Second Amendment, and that is my issue. If you cannot be completely uncompromisable on the Second Amendment, I will not vote for you, and I will write somebody else in. We need champions for the Second Amendment, or our rights will be eaten away and eroded each day. I support my decision, and I have no takebacks.
A few moments later.
You've got to be kidding.
No takebacks 12 hours later. Where were we? We were like, right.
You shield for Democrats? But, hey, I might vote for Kyle because Dudley Brown first. That post is still on Kyle's page. This company has a history of spending tens of thousands of dollars against pro-Trump candidates. Rittenhouse has spoke for Rocky Mountain gun owners at multiple venues and events. He is even seen wearing their shirt during his speeches and appearances. Just go to Dudley Brown's Twitter page and search Kyle. After that, search Trump. Okay, so here's what I believe, right? I think that there's a good chance that Dom LaCour is probably on to something, in the sense that Kyle Rittenhouse is a young, impressionable young man who got thrust into the national spotlight for unfortunately having...
I think it's more so people are upset because Trump came out and supported him so much when he was going through his case, you know, and supported him defending himself and, you know, all that. He met Trump. He was cool with Trump. I think that's might be what it has to do with, DG. I think that I don't understand why people get so upset about anything. At this point, I don't care who you vote for. Go vote for whoever you want. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't my prerogative. I vote for who I want to vote for.
To defend his own life doing BLM protests. Now, here's the thing. My initial reaction to Kyle Rittenhouse and his announcement that he was voting for Ron Paul, again, was not very surprised, okay, especially for the reasons that he outlined, because, again, there are people on both sides of the aisle that are like that, right? Like, there are a lot of people that are saying, hey, I'm not going to vote for Trump because, you know, I think Trump might be too friendly with the alphabet, right? There are a lot of people like that. Kyle Rittenhouse is just one of many people like that, okay? And do I really have a problem with those people? Yes and no, okay? In the sense that people who say, you know what, I don't like either candidate, I am going to sit out, right? I just don't want to vote. I'm like, okay, fine, right? It is what it is.
2-8 and that's just voting blind and sitting. Yeah. Somewhat. I think, but so you can't even vote. So all right, so Josh, from what he said on his Twitter like 12 hours later, that he was misinformed, and that's why he said what he said. I guess, obviously, you know, he could have just been told that. I don't know. But from what he's saying, he said he was misinformed.
I'm not mad about that. Unless you are quite literally a traitor, like an Anna Navarro or Alyssa Farah Griffin, where not only are you saying that, well, I'm not going to vote for Trump, I'm going to sit it out. You're saying that, hey, I might vote for Kamala Harris. And you also are essentially cheering for the Democrat Party. And when you go on national television, all you do is shield for the Democrat Party, lie on behalf of the Democrat Party, even though you call yourself a conservative and a Republican.
Why'd you pluralize pickles? It's just pickle.
Which is what Anna Navarro and Alyssa Farah Griffin do. Okay, they say that we are conservative Republicans, but you shield for Democrats by supporting their far left agenda, specifically Anna Navarro when it comes to the LGBTQ stuff. It's like you're not a conservative, right? You might be a libertarian at best, but you're definitely not.
You guys are crazy.
Okay, you're definitely not a conservative. Yeah, when you do stuff like that, when you support Kamala Harris, who is the most progressive presidential candidate that we've ever seen, but yet you say that you are a conservative Republican, it doesn't make sense. Like that's something that I just can't. I can't stand that. Okay. That is something to legitimately be upset about, right? That is something that somebody legitimately deserves some backlash over, because it's just like, just stop calling yourself a Republican. Stop calling yourself a conservative if you're openly going to cheer on the most progressive agenda that we've ever seen. Doesn't make sense. But when you are one of these people who are a single issue voter, where you say that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to vote for one of the two major candidates. One of the candidates that actually has a chance to win. Okay, let's be.
Yeah, this person actually said it really good. I don't care who he votes for. I'm voting for president. Yeah, you vote for who you want.
More specific.
I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse is going to like draw in or push away voters regardless. So it doesn't matter
about this. I'm not going to do it because I'm a purist on a certain issue, and I don't like the fact that the candidate that I'm likely to vote for is not going to do X, Y, and Z, right? Or they're not pure enough on the issue. In this case, Trump is not pure enough on Second Amendment rights, according to Kyle Rittenhouse. This is what he says, right? This is his reason. Well, if that's the case, wouldn't it make sense to vote for the candidate that is not going to move us in the opposite direction that you say that you want the country to go in? Why would you cast one less vote for Trump that could possibly help his opponent win, when you know that his opponent is objectively way worse than Trump would ever be on the Second Amendment? It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. This is why I say this is more of an immature 21-year-old mindset. That, again, is a mindset that a lot of people have at that age. I mean, again, there's a large portion of the left that has that same mindset when it comes to Israel and Gaza, right? What they don't understand is that in the long term, Israel's going to take that land. Like, I mean, that's the honest to God truth, okay? And that it doesn't matter how they vote. All the politicians are pro-Israel, right? And Israel's going to get what they want. They just don't realize it yet, right? They just don't realize it, okay? All this protesting and boohoo, whining, and crying is not going to change anything. There's not going to be a two-state solution.
Yeah, that's his
Neither party is interested in a two-state solution. They do not want to live together in peace, and that is the honest to God truth that nobody wants to admit, okay?
Yeah, let's be honest here, Jose. Sports are gay now. Sports are gay, really, really gay now, bro.
Israel is the stronger nation, and eventually they're going to take all the land. But hey, if they want to sit out because of it, great, right? I'm not going to, object, okay? But again, in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, somebody that, would possibly vote for a candidate that I support, yeah, I think that mentality is short-sighted, right? You got to understand that politics is push.
I used to play basketball. Yeah, mostly just basketball. Even when I was big, I still played basketball back in the days. I probably suck now, though. You're probably right.
Push and pull, okay? In order to push or pull the country in a certain direction, you have to win consecutively, right? You have to continue to win and win and win. How is it that cities like Chicago and New York or states like California have become Democrat Party strongholds? It's because Democrats have been winning in those states for years and years and years.
No, his favorite Channing Tatum scene is probably anything off of Magic Mike. That's probably his favorite movie.
Decades and decades and decades, right? And that's how you take a state or a city and you make it far left, right? Same thing that happens at the nationwide level when you're talking about the direction of the country as a whole, okay? A lot of people don't like the fact that Trump has moderated himself on certain issues like abortion. Some conservatives are upset and they're saying, oh, no, we shouldn't moderate ourselves on the issue, even though in the polls, Republicans should definitely moderate themselves on the issue.
I taught my son well.
Country's at right now. Now there are some issues.
Greatest movie ever,
The
Notebook.
yourself. Like for example, on immigration, most of the country right now wants mass deportation, so we can be as far right as we want to be on immigration right now, and we should, right? We should be as conservative as we possibly can on the immigration issue because the country has the appetite for that. Okay,
makes sense, right?
Okay, I hope that makes sense. It's not a hard thing to understand. There's some issues where, hey, you got to moderate yourself, meet the people in the middle. That doesn't mean that you're abandoning your principles. It just means that right now you can't win elections if you try to be too conservative on a certain issue where the country doesn't agree with you on it. The reality is that Trump has to moderate himself.
I think I seen The Notebook like one time when it first came out.
Because that's where most of the country is now.
It's not a good movie. Not my type of movie, at least.
And in order to get the country to move in the direction that you want, you have to win, right? You got to win, and then you got to win again, and then you have to continue to win, right? That is how it works. The reason why we're stuck in the middle when it comes to politics, okay, and it seems as if only the extremes are getting more extreme, right, is because it's always this back and forth. You had Obama, he won, okay,
and it's like my chat's a comedy chat. This is just a roast fest right now.
2007, 2008, and then after that you had Trump, and then you got Biden. It's going back and forth because that's where the country's at right now. Okay, the country is in a gridlock, right? So you got to win, okay? In a country that's in gridlock, that's literally in the middle, okay? Bro, divided, Democrats and Republicans, which party is the best equipped to take the country in the right direction as a whole. You have to appeal to the middle, the moderates, okay, in order to get them their votes.
This is right, Tyler.
You have to lead with a vision and an agenda that is going to expand the base and to continue to rack up victories, whether it be in the Senate, in the House, in the presidency, that is going to allow you to slowly move in the direction that you want to move in, okay? But you're not going to take, a big jump in one direction in one election. It just doesn't happen, okay?
No.
What happens is that, again, you have to have consecutive wins in order to accumulate power and public consensus that, hey, yeah, this is a direction that we want the country to go in. Okay? So even if Trump was a 2A purist, he's not going to get constitutional carry nationwide in his next term, right? Like, that's just not happening. Okay, it's not happening.
We all know that, though.
So again, if you understand that, then you got to understand that, hey, the time to kind of hash out these details is during the primary, right? But when it comes to the general election, the calculation has to be, okay, I might not be getting what I want or everything that I want from my preferred candidate, but I do know that if I let the other candidate win, then I'm
my dog's
going
a flex
to lose
king.
more of my rights, okay? At the very least, with the guy that I prefer, I'm probably going to keep my rights, okay? Would you rather keep your rights and maybe have a chance to regain some of these rights that have been taken away? Or would you rather have somebody in
What's
office
the
that is
move,
just going to continue
bitch?
to take away your rights and is dead set on doing things like, for example,
Jose, you remember this like angry thing we talked about? How you gotta stop? You're fucking doing it again, bro. Yeah, that was DG. You didn't even know that, bro? That was him in the movie.
banning quote unquote assault rifles. And what they actually really mean is banning
Yes,
modern
you are. You're a little angry fucking Chicano. That's what you are. You're a little angry Chicano.
sporting rifles.
Ain't that what it right? Am I right with that one?
Which is what Kyle Rittenhouse used to defend himself, right? So that's what Kamala wants to do. Kamala wants to ban the weapon that you use to defend yourself. Arguably, you would be dead if Kamala could have it.
What does that mean again?
If you want to keep
what does that mean? No, I'm a what?
your rifles, which I'm sure Kyle
Chicana.
definitely loves his rifles, right? He's a 2A purist. Then you might not want to just allow the
What does that
person
mean
who
again?
wants to ban your rifles to win, okay? Because you want to be a 2A purist. You want something that you're probably not going to get in this election cycle, no matter who you vote for, right? So you might as well vote for the best person that actually has a chance of winning.
You guys, Jose messaged me the other day, and he told me he's voting for Kamala Harris.
That is less likely to take away more of your rights. I'm not one of these people that's calling him a
No, I know. What does
or,
Chicana mean?
You know, saying that he's a bad person or that, you know, I don't support him anymore because of that. Because my support for Kyle Rittenhouse had nothing to do.
Yeah, Jose, you messaged me the other day, told me you're voting for Kamala Harris, and you're only voting for her because she's a female. I'm proud of you.
With his support for Trump. It had everything to do with the fact that I believe that in his situation, he did the right thing. Okay, he defended himself.
Chipotle. Okay.
And my support of him is basically support for self-defense.
Would
Right?
do
It's
so, look
support
here.
for Second Amendment.
Yeah,
rights.
dude,
And It
seriously.
really has nothing to do with him as
She
a
really is, though,
person
Tyler.
and his
They're all
support of
evil.
Trump, as much as it has to do with the symbolism behind the situation that he went through and the fact that the left
Hashtag
is
women's
continuously
rights.
trying to ruin a man's life, a young man's life, because he defended himself.
Arne
Again, it's
Asada.
just-
Okay.
That to me is just wrong. Okay, so that's what it's about.
Do people eat cow brain or something like that, Jose, from Mexico? I used to work with a lot of Mexicans. I think they were all illegals too. And they used to like go to the store and bring it in and cook it when I worked at Chipotle. And did he say it was cow tongue? Only one can go to my artist. We're gonna put Stilt on DG so he can go. Linguia? What is that, DG? I don't know what that is.
So I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you can't support him anymore. You should cancel him because he's not voting for Trump. No, I'm one of these people that believes that, hey, you should tell him that I don't think that this is a wise decision.
Maybe it was cow tongue then. Oh, okay. It means tongue, you meatball. I don't fucking... Shut up, maggot. I don't fucking speak your language. You just make sure you speak mine in my country, motherfucker.
You know, this is the flaw in your thinking.
I don't need to know how to speak your language. You need to know how to speak mine.
But you're free to vote for whoever you want to vote for. Okay? That's up to you. Now, what I will say is that because MAGA and Trump supported Kyle at a time in which, again, the left tried to throw this man in prison for a long time for defending himself. I think without MAGA, without Trump, who knows, he could have went to prison, could have been in prison, okay? A lot of bad things could have happened. Well, certainly, he definitely, I think, will have a much harder time making a living if it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, but
for our side of the aisle. I just don't think that it was a good move for him to say that out loud, right? If you want to go to the voting booth and quietly vote for Ron Paul, knock yourself out. But when you have a whole group of people who supported you and your...
We usually just ground Tyler. Remember when Tyler got mad at Pickle to pick up his girl?
freedom, stood up against the left when they were trying to ruin your life.
You're so
for,
stupid,
again,
dude.
you defending yourself, okay, exercising your Second Amendment rights. When you come out and you project to your millions of followers that, hey, I'm not voting for Trump, I'm voting for Ron Paul, yeah, you're going to get a lot of backlash. I don't think that was a smart move, right? I think that if you're going to not support Trump, at the very least, you can continue to support whatever you support, stand on your principles, okay, and just stay out of it in regards to who you're going to vote for. Okay? When you come out here and you say that you're voting for somebody else, you're effectively casting a vote that can allow Kamala Harris to win. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of backlash. A lot of people are going to feel betrayed, and they're going to be upset. And in this case, Kyle Rittenhouse seems to have gotten a message, and he has now had a change of heart, at least publicly, right? I don't know if he'll actually vote for Trump, but at least publicly, he understands that this was a massive, massive, massive mistake. But
yeah, you're my dog.
I'm not being that hard on the guy. I just think that his thinking is flawed, but his thinking is normal for somebody his age. Is not that big of a deal. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you
right. I mean, the kid's allowed to have his own mind. He's allowed to think what he wants, and if he realized he was wrong, then he realized he was wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, me and DG are in Cleveland. We're like in the actual city of Cleveland. Is he live right now? I don't know. Maybe not. Hit the road right. Yeah. Joe Rogan to speak out. As one of the most. Yeah. Of what? On Twitter or on X? What, on my computer? Where do you go to that? I don't do anything on my computer. Yeah. I literally don't do anything on my computer but like work on it. That's it.
And what's the message to Iran?
All right, so for that question, I thank you. Okay, because we're
yeah.
We want the American people to know what we've come.
What kind of wings are you gonna get, Jose?
Up with to prevent Third World War that we swore Trump would have started, right? Right, funny how that worked out. But here's the takeaway.
Trump is the definition of standing on business.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
Mango, how many did you really check as well this one?
They've got to be stopped.
Trump is the definition of standing on
business.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
I like a lot of things that this guy says. Like, listen, he has a different message.
My dad migrated. No, it feels like 2028. I mean 2020, 2008. It feels like 2008 excitement.
I know, dude. It's so great.
From the outhouse to the White House. You don't feel the 2008 electricity in the air? I'm going to let this go in a second. You don't feel the 2008 electricity in the air? You don't feel the 2008
Good way to tap dance.
Electricity in the air?
Donald Donald Trump will not win. I haven't been so excited about the election since Obama. 2008, Kamala Harris is going to win this election. She's going to win it. With our help, God has already done his part. Now it's up to us to do
Oh, God.
our part.
Let me first say I've not seen this kind of excitement in Michigan since 2008 when we elected our first black president.
Just like the title say, I'm about to offend, or should I say, piss off some black people. I'm very frustrated with our race. And the main reason it isn't really because of something that we're doing. Well, we are doing stuff, but to be real with you, it's because we are viewed so low on this totem pole of this political structure, this political America, that we can be pandered to in the most absolute disrespectful ways. And that is because we accept it. We allow people, these Democrats, these white Democrats, to approach us in the most disrespectful, disingenuous ways and to represent us in the most disgusting ways. What do I mean by this? I mean, black people need to hold them accountable. I mean, black people should start being pissed when these people show you what they think about you. It makes absolutely no sense for the amount of black people that accepts the BS that these people push to us when they're trying to win our vote. Oh, man, it's really aggravates me. And I'm saying that to say this. When the Democrats go meet and they go to an Asian community and they try to win over the Asians, I need someone to find me footage of the Democrats trying to host a Kung Fu tournament when they go to meet the Asians. And after they're done with the tournament, I want to see them try to appeal to the Yakuza, however you pronounce it.
Yep.
You don't see it. Even more so, you don't see Democrats bringing out piñatas when they go meet up with the Hispanics and they try to win the Hispanic vote. And at the end of them hitting the piñatas, they don't go appeal to the cartels. They don't start shooting guns in the air. They don't start smoking weed. They don't start making fentanyl. And last but not least, if Democrats ever try to win the Italian vote, find me a time where they make them spaghetti, have a spaghetti party, and at the end of it, they go appeal to the mafias. So why in the hell, when they care about getting a black vote, the main thing they do is appeal to our lowest denominator? They appeal to our thugs, our sluts, our gangsters. They appeal to the things that we're running away from. They appeal to our rappers. You bring Megan Thee Stallion on stage and she starts dancing her ass off. Who is that appealing to? That's only appealing to the lowest denominator. This isn't, and it's nothing wrong with having fun and enjoying your own music. Hell, I don't care. We don't have to politicize everything. But as a black person, can you not see these people for who they are? They telling us what they think about us, or should I say, the lack thereof.
So I try and tell people.
Instead of having people that can influence our youth, that can represent us in the right way, because the world is watching. You know why they don't do it for the Asians? You know why they don't do it for the Hispanics or the Italians or anyone else? Because they feel like they can't get away with it. The same reason why Christianity can get disrespected in 2024 without much backlash, and you won't see that same type of disrespect for a Muslim or Jewish religion, is because they fight back when they're disrespected. Christians for a long time sat down with the disrespect. Black people for hundreds of years have been sitting down with liberal disrespect. They have to push it out. They have to push it out. We have to push out the disrespect. We have to hold them accountable and tell them this ain't us. We're so much more. We're not a monolith. We're so much more than some twerking. We're so much more than a rap lyric. We're so much more than a gang. There's multiple people that have gangs, but they appealing to these people. We're so much more than the people on stage telling our people that we don't have enough.
I never thought that the shirt I wore to school one spring morning would lead to a federal lawsuit.
Crazy to think
But
about.
the reaction from the adults.
People don't want to open their eyes though. You want to see the game I'm about to play, Jose?
Blame
my lectern in front of me to show that it is live.
It is live, and it is a development build. So if you might see things that don't work absolutely perfectly, it's because we're still working on the game. And the eagle eye that the community have asked about is...
It looks sweet.
Pathing?
Yeah, pathing. Pathing is a big thing. So I know that a lot of people were desperate to find out whether the pathing has been made easier.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big takeaways of the feedback we had from the first game, was that the pathing system, making it more usable and quick to build the things that you want to build. And in Planet Coaster 2, we've taken a long look at those tools and making it a lot easier for you to build those long tracks of path, and also adding things like plazas and tools that allow you to build those more open spaces for your parks, because that's something you see in real life theme parks. There's a lot of...
It looks cool.
Despicable She. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Honestly, I don't really like watching Fox that much unless it's to make fun of them. UK protests after 3 young girls stayed there by son of Ramadan migrants. It's crazy, bro. Well, I don't understand how she won it, guys. Can somebody tell me how she won it? When did they have the Democratic when did they have any of the process? What is going on, dude? This is just crazy to me, dude. How the fuck did she win? When?
So the fun thing with the serpent is, how does a serpent talk? And not only that, but why is the serpent's punishment?
Hollywood actress Amanda Seales released this absolutely insane video where she completely bashes Kamala Harris in the most crazy way possible. So we're going to be checking out this video coming from her today. But, my friends, there is a crazy twist to this entire situation. Something that no one saw coming, because this is the same woman, all right, who just 2 weeks ago was talking about the attempt on Trump's life being staged. If you guys do not remember, I covered this in a video right after this happened, because she released this video literally like the next day after the whole attempt on Trump's life. Actress known for her role in Insecure, Amanda Seales, said that Trump's attempt on his life was staged. Seales said that crap was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Madea Runs for President. I lived in Harlem long enough to know gunshots do not sound like making popcorn on the stove, which kind of shows her entire IQ in one video here, which is pretty incredible stuff. But the craziest thing about this entire thing is that basically all of the right-wing media is now praising her because she is taking shots at Kamala Harris in this video, okay, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Apparently everyone just has goldfish memories on the internet and have completely forgotten that just 2 weeks ago she was saying that the entire thing that happened to Trump was staged. This is absolutely wild, but we're going to check out what she says about Kamala Harris here today in this video, and then we will go from there.
Put in clips of Kamala Harris.
What's up, chat? How we doing tonight?
Stating things. I don't need politicians to state things.
What
I
did
need
you do?
politicians to do things.
like Trump. There's no one else that is in government that does things more than just state things than Trump.
Right.
So, all of the shit talking that you're doing about Trump, are you going to apologize for that, Amanda Seales? Probably not.
When I met with Kamala Harris after she summoned me, I said to her straight up, you talk out two sides of your neck and we don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kamala Harris who's trying to shut me the up. Because I told her straight up that I feel like she is disingenuous in her messaging.
It's kind of crazy that she's talking about how she was summoned by Kamala Harris and now Kamala Harris is super angry because she won't support her. That's pretty wild stuff.
And she said to me, well, you're being too critical. And I said, I am a voter. I'm supposed to be critical.
Yeah, right. That's true.
That's my job.
I mean, she's not wrong.
No.
She's not wrong.
And I want to see actions. She said, well, how am I supposed to talk about racism in America without calling Americans racist? I said, well, first of all, there are
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh boy. I can't wait to see what Amanda Seales says about that.
there are many racist Americans, but there's also policy, legislation, institution, and systems that are racist that need to be addressed.
She's still an idiot.
They need to be addressed. And if you're not going to do that in an actualized way and in a loud, bold way, people will never really know where you're coming from. Well, you can't tell me how I feel. So I'm not telling you how you feel. I'm telling you how you sound. The truth is that you should always question your source and what are their intentions. And what you all need to know is that I don't need to do any of this. I don't need to talk about any of this.
No, I mean, I agree with her. You know, you should always question things. You should always be asking questions, especially when it comes to the government. 100%. Doesn't matter who it is. It's always good to ask questions, okay? But at the end of the day, you know, if she obviously still believes a lot of the leftist Democrat talking points that have been completely imprinted onto her brain.
Yeah.
Probably her entire life about how, like, the entire system is completely out to get her simply because she's black. And, well, I'm sorry, but it's 2024. That is just not the case. That is just a lie by the media to keep you in control under the Democrat power. She's still just kind
of crazy. Let's see what Jesse has to say about Kamala.
I want to finish up this story about the great white hope, Donald Trump, telling this black female how the cow ate the cabbage. Perfect love. He dealt with her the way a father deals with a daughter, the way a father deals with a son, the way a father deals with his wife. But we don't see this anymore. This is like old school stuff. And Donald Trump is from the old school. That's why he can't be defeated as an individual. Even if you take away the stupid election from him, you're still not beating Donald Trump as an individual. You can't beat him down. He's strong and of good courage, and he has no fear. God said, fear not. So why do you have fear? Why don't you even question that? Okay, God, you said fear not. Why do I have fear then? I know the word. I go to church. I went down to the front of the church and confessed Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And I believe in my heart that I am saved. But yet I have fear. And you telling me to have no fear. Fear not.
Yep.
What the? But anyway. 888-7753-773.
What's up, chat? How we doing tonight?
So, Donald Trump told this black female at the National Association of Black Journalists how the cow ate the cabbage with perfect love and truth. Well, the truth is perfect love. And if we can find 5 more white men, because you can find 1 or 2 black men doing it, 1 or 2, few and far. But if you can find 5 more white men with this type of love and courage, we can save America. America will have a chance. Nothing can stop it. Really. We can finally bring back America, my country. But finding 5 more is like looking for over there in Abba land for a Christian. CNBC. Donald Trump's appearance Wednesday at the National Association of Black Journalists annual convention in Chicago almost immediately went off the rail. It went off the rail probably with that black woman, but it didn't go off the rail with Trump. That's for sure.
The lady ended up
Almost
quitting.
immediately went off the rail as the Republican presidential nominee cast doubt on his rival ethnicity and clashed with a member of the panel. And I think this female is supposed to be a black journalist or representative, NBC or one of those places, I think. I want you to watch this. I want you to watch with a clear mind.
Yeah.
The love that comes from Trump through this situation. But first, this is from PBS. Reporter gives Trump a rude introduction.
Yeah,
Watch
it
this.
was.
I want to
Yeah,
start by
what's up, Alpha?
addressing
Mine
the
too.
elephant in the room, sir.
Checkers.
A lot of people did not think
Yes.
it was
What's up,
appropriate
Alpha?
for you to
How
be
you doing,
here
brother?
today. You have pushed false claims. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
What a bitch, dude. What a fucking bitch.
You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would
Dude,
do
I'm glad to
something
hear.
like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, it turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Let's. Oh, really?
A question and answer period.
What'd you do? A
especially 35
DNA
minutes late
test?
because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner. I think it's a disgrace.
Amazing.
Killed her.
That's amazing. I gotta say it.
Amazing.
That was a father's love.
You guys, it's just. Wait, where are the rest of the signs?
What must be what?
I don't know where the rest of my sounds went.
That black
I'm a
woman
mutt too, bro. I'm a
is
big
wicked.
mutt.
She's evil, and she's a bitch.
That's
That's a real bitch. And Daddy dealt with her with perfect love. That's an evil She ever just. If you didn't see how evil,
Bro, I'm
and
so
nasty
many
that
different
black
things. I
female
don't even know
was,
what I am. I'm
You
just
don't want to
white,
see it.
white American.
You just don't want to see evil. And you're evil of your heart, and you can't see it. And Donald Trump showed her perfect love. He corrected the bitch with perfect love. He didn't get mad. He didn't go off. He didn't shout at her.
That'd have been
He just told her
hilarious,
the truth.
Alpha.
He did not overreact, and that's what love is. And at one time, that kind of love coming from Donald Trump that you just saw was prevalent in America. I remember that kind of love was prevalent in America. I remember, long story short, an example of that kind of love. My grandfather wanted me to, down in Alabama on that plantation, wanted me to stay home. It was time to break the soil, clean the fields out so we could plant
You know, it's funny. He's told this story before, so you know he's like telling the truth.
seeds. And he was saying, well, you can't go to school tomorrow because we got to break grounds. I'm like, I want to go to school. What the? I wanna go to school. He like, no, you can't go. You got to stay. And I was ticked. I was like 10th grade, I guess, 9th, 10th. I was ticked. He's like, no, you can't go. You got to stay home. And the next morning I got up, and he was already out in the fields. I went out there and hooked up the mule to the plow and put the mule there on the road and take off to plow the field. And the plow ran over my foot and cut it open right on top. You can see all the red veins, the blood, the white meat. I'm like, what the?
What the?
And he saw it. I'm like, Dad. I call him Dad. Dad, I cut my foot. He like, well, you had not been acting the way you were acting and did what I told you. You want to cut your foot. Plow the field. He felt nothing. He just said, oh, baby, you got to go home to mama and put some turpentine on it. I'll go home or something. He felt nothing. He showed me perfect love. As Donald Trump just showed that stupid black female from the National Association of Black Journalists, he showed her perfect love. She has never seen that before. I spoke, matter of fact, I was at the one of
You guys like my
the ones
shirt?
at the National Association of Black Journalists. They were nasty to me too. But it was fine. Michael Dyson, I believe, was there, and other. I was okay with it. I understand. And you can too. You can be free right here on earth. Donald Trump showed that female how the cow, he told her how the cow ate the cabbage.
He really
Can't you
did.
see we need more of that in America today? Instead of hate, we need love. Here's another soundbite from PBS. Trump love. Trump loved the blacks. And has done so much for them. Here's Trump. Love the blacks and have done so much for them. Watch this.
I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country,
Nice.
including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. And, you know, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it.
Nice. See? He loved the white.
Nice.
But that black female don't want that to be known. She came in there in hell and damnation. She walked out of the gates of hell thinking that she was going to deal with the Son of God like she dealt with the sons of the devil. She thought she was going to walk all over them. It didn't work.
True.
Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. But you don't know that yet. You don't believe it. You don't know it. And you don't believe it. It sounds good when you hear it, but you don't believe it.
Hello?
And the proof is in the pudding. You have anger. Anyone that has anger don't believe no greater is he that's in you. What's Donald Trump, I said from day one, not brash, and just reminding you, when Donald Trump was walking down, coming down the rail there, walk thing at his building there in New York, and he announced that he was running for president the first time around. I'm like, this is the man. This will be our next president. This is the man that can save America. There was something about him. when they saw Jesus Christ going over there into Israel, or wherever he went over there on that donkey, they saw him, the crowd saw him, and they knew that was the man. They knew. Likewise, the same spirit in Christ is in Trump. The same spirit in his brother Christ is in him. It's in you too, but you just don't know it. Or it can be in you if you overcome the false spirit. One last one. This is Trump says, I ain't know Kamala Harris was black. I don't think too many people knew that. Until she started saying that she was black. Because she didn't look black to me. She looked like an Indian or something. Trump says he didn't know Kamala Harris was black. What's the response to this?
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Yes.
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir.
See, white people, black people need love too. For the last 60 to 70 years, you have been afraid to show black people love. By just saying, you know what, I'm not your problem. You're your own problem. I'm not the reason you're failing in life. Your parents are the reason, and then as an adult, you're the reason. I have nothing to do with slavery, plus slavery doesn't affect you anyway. You're not suffering because of slavery. You're suffering because you're lost. You're angry, and you're blaming. And you're not angry at me, you're angry at your mama and yearning for your father, but in your darkness, you're saying I'm your problem, and I'm not. White people, you should have just been telling the blacks this for 60 to 70 years. I guarantee you they'll be better off today than they are now. They were better off before the Civil Rights Movement. The worst thing that ever happened to the Civil Rights Movement, to the blacks, other than abortion, was the Civil Rights Movement. They have not recovered. Donald Trump told that black female from the National Association of Black Journalists how the cow ate the cabbage. And if you heard the audience, some of the audience like right on Trump, they were loving it. Which says, and the Democrats don't want to hear this, believe me, that there are black people who are waking up and they see that Trump, they see where Trump is coming from.
Yeah.
And they are supporting the Great White Hope. And that black woman that was talking to Trump, that's the last thing she wanted to reveal, is that there were black in the audience who applauded Trump. What the? She has egg all over her face.
Keep getting phone
splattered on her face.
You better go hit
Trump
Target
showed her
very
love.
soon and get them gift cards.
What America needs is love. She was like, you had dinner with a white supremacist. What the? What's her business who he has dinner with? She had dinner with black supremacists who ate white people. If he had had dinner with the head, the founder of the KKK, that's no different than having dinner with Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or the so-called civil rights leaders or the so-called black professors and these dumb educated black people. It's the same thing. They're no different. Their hearts are wicked.
Man, he speaks on like such a different level.
And the Great White Hope when she said that about the white supremacy having dinner, he didn't go along with that. He just told her the truth about the real deal. And that's what you got to do. You got to stop being distracted by the devil. When I first started debating the devil, I had never debated before. It was all new, but I learned. The one thing that I was shown not to do, don't be distracted by the devil. Don't let the devil come in and throw you off. He doesn't want the truth to get out there.
Man, that's
But
crazy.
if you go and try to prove something to the devil, meaning the people you're debating, then you're don't have a chance to tell the truth. Point people back to the Father.
Yep.
But you get up there arguing with the devil. Oh, I ain't had no dinner with no white supremacist. That was a good guy. And blah, blah. Let her think what she wants. It's a distraction.
It's true.
Just like the devil try to distract you in your mind and emotions, he would do it outside of you in the mind and emotions of
It's very
others.
true. It's
And
very,
because you
very
can't
true.
see, you'll fall for it. And now you just have two devils arguing, no one showing the light. No light shining. Congratulations to the Great White Hope. What an amazing way to begin this month, August, Men's History Month. Amazing. We have some information coming up about that too. Donald Trump showed that female
How the cow ate the
told that
cabbage.
female how the cow ate the cabbage with perfect love. And yes, there are black people who voted for the Great White Hope. The Democratic Party hate that. That's the only reason they're letting Kamala Harris run around like an insane person. And because they're trying to seduce the blacks back, those blacks who have gone away, they're trying to bring them back to the plantation. And they're using Kamala Harris. She's the underground woman. You know, the blacks always say there was an underground woman that tried to help some black people escape. I think her name was Harriet Tubman or something like that. So, if that's true, yeah, Harriet Tubman. So, Kamala Harris and Harriet Tubman that the Democrats have sent out to bring the blacks back to the plantation of the Democratic Party. That's her job. That's Kamala Tubman's job. Is to bring the blacks back to the plantation of the Democratic Party. So if it means that she got to not be an India with a black daddy from Africa or whatever they say, allegedly, she got to be black and make some mean greens, make some mean collard greens, and go and buy some black albums, some black music, she'll do it. As long as Harriet Tubman can bring the blacks back to the plantation of the Democratic Party. Amazing.
Amazing. Oh, he talks about Joy Reid.
This female, Joy Reid. When all else failed, race bait. Why do you think the blacks been crying racism and using that fake word for years now? They think it's working for them. They think they're getting something. They get material things from it, but they're still not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Joy Reid is a nasty woman, a nasty female, nasty female, just plain old nasty, wicked. You can see it in her eyes, wicked to the core. I want you to watch how wicked she is. I'm about to play this soundbite of her race baiting the blacks. And just look at her eye. You're not going to see anything but the devil.
Yeah.
Nothing but the devil. Race baiting. You're going to hear a lot of this unless the Democrats switch up and put another person there. And still they're going to use weird stuff. But you're going to see a lot of this between now and November. The Democrats are desperate. They're evil. They're scared. They have fear that they will lose. Look what they did to Joe Biden. They got rid of Joe. And they don't necessarily like Kamala Harris. She's not the first choice. But I want you to watch the race.
They don't like her. They really don't, guys.
From MSNBC so-called host. This is from X. MSNBC host Joy Reid made a wild claim about black voters deciding not to vote for Kamala Harris in the quote-unquote presidential election. Watch this.
Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're going to look real crazy.
When did they secure the delegates, though?
Line,
you look crazy.
Particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely on that side. You really are going to look crazy being on that side, given the cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Devi Harris. She's about to make history. She's about to become the first woman president.
What an even nasty one, huh? She crawled out of the gates of hell to tell you that. It's a spiritual battle. You should vote however you want to vote.
Yeah.
It got nothing to do with color. You should vote however you want to vote. And this stupid female have no idea what she's talking about. Really. Joy Reid is not going to pay your bills when you go to the gas pump. Is she going to be there to pay for your high gas? Will she be there? When you go to the market to buy food, is Joy Reid going to be there to pay the bill at the cashier checkout counter? When you go to look for a job because the Democrats have brought in all the illegals and now you can't find a job, will Joy Reid give you a job? She is a nasty one. Do what you want, but you better be trying to think for yourself.
Yeah.
When, if not now, will you think for yourself? When did you stop thinking for yourself, or have you always been a follower and not thought and thought for yourself? You didn't think for yourself. Have you always been a follower? What happened to the good old days when your parents taught you, you better stop following that person.
Yep.
You better think for yourself before I knock you out.
It's true, guys.
You come home crying because somebody had a fight with you at school. I'm gonna beat you myself. In the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, the parents taught you to be independent.
Yep.
Don't be a crybaby. The word bully wasn't around that I was aware of. But if you had a fight at school or someone, quote unquote, bullied you at school, you better stand up and defend yourself.
Yep.
Or when you get home, you're going to get a whooping.
Yep.
Up there crying like a baby, especially if you're a boy. That's gone now. They say, oh, punish the bully. You poor baby. He bullied you. Oh, come to mama. Mama got you. You can't have somebody try to bully you. So, and because the parents didn't nowadays don't raise their children up in the right way to go, to be independent thinkers, to defend yourself, to stand up for yourself. Men and women are weak, beta males, mama's boys and girls.
True.
But you can overcome it if you take control of you. You can overcome it. It's up to you. 888. So listen, get ready. This election season going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy one this year,
And
Chad.
all they can do, and they will
Very
do
crazy.
it back to back, is attack Donald Trump in a personal way, because they have nothing else to say. This is what we've done to make America great again. Nothing. Zero. They have done nothing. And they didn't know that this day was coming, that Donald Trump would be running again, and the people would be fed up with them and support Donald Trump. They didn't know. They thought that you weren't paying attention.
True.
Check this out. State Farm was charging me $179 for auto insurance per month.
I like Patrick Bet-David.
Valuetainment founder Patrick Bet-David joins me now. All right. My mom, Big Lib, Pat, she calls me. She says, Jesse, you're underestimating her. She's a threat. She's going to beat Trump. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Am I wrong? Am I taking her not seriously enough?
I think you ought to listen to your mom. First of all, Jesse, it's good to see you back. I'm glad you're doing better. But
thank you.
You know, the part about competition is you can never underestimate your opponent. $200 million
Without a doubt.
raised, and the strategy they're going to get is when they make you change your game plan, and that's what they're trying to do to Trump. That's the part that Trump cannot fall and try to pivot to her in too much of a way. Here's what I mean by it. So they're going to try to agitate. Why? Because at the RNC, Trump gave a speech of seeing kind and gentle and loving and a way to unify. And they'd never seen a Trump like that before. It's like, who is this person? That's what happens when you have a close call. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 all these things are happening. And then Trump's threatened. And then whenever he's threatened, what does he do? Attack. I don't think he needs to, because when you put resume to resume, Kamala isn't 1/1000th of a resume of what President Trump has done. They're going to try to make the American people believe that
for
she's
sure.
done more
They're
things
already
than
trying.
Trump, but Trump just has to stick to his resume and not allow any of this stuff to bother him. And if he does that, he's going to win by landslide.
I agree. If he's the gentle giant and kind of almost soars over the BS and doesn't even pay much attention to it, doesn't get in the weeds with it, you'd say it's a landslide. But the problem, you're saying, is if he gets sucked into the gutter. And that's what they wanted him to do during the debate. Remember, Biden was supposed to inflame him, get Trump to go crazy, call him a dictator and a rapist. And Trump was smooth and decimated Joe Biden. Do you think Trump runs the risk of being baited by Kamala and the media?
No.
Absolutely. And the reason for
don't.
that is because there are certain people in the world that they can't help but to fight. They're natural fighters. When you come up in the streets of New York winning in real estate, every day's a fight. When you come up in media and you're trying to put up a show and you're number one for 15 years, it's a fight. When you come up politics and you're trying to become a president and all these things come about you, rumors, Russia, all this stuff, it's a fight. He's been fighting his entire life. So to tell a 78-year-old man who fights when he golfs, he does everything's about winning. Hey, listen, pump the brakes when they agitate you and take shots. Who do you think you are? I've been with me for 78 years. You think you can give me any feedback? That's the tough part. But for me, it's resume to resume and certain things as a
It's true.
tough
It is
guy,
resume to
you don't need
resume.
to fight 98% of people. Let your generals do the fighting with the 98%. Pick the top 1% of people you ought to fight. Go after them, but not everybody else. I don't know if he's going to do that or not, because here's the other challenge, Jesse, to be thinking about. Sometimes in your own community, you can be given a speech, and your audience you're speaking to in front of you They're all like, yeah, go after them. Don't be nice. Don't do this and don't do that. That's exactly what you do. You're not converting anybody. You already have their votes. You need to get the independents to say, this is a different man. I like him. I'll vote for him. Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, I like him. This could make me want to support him. You're not, every time he speaks, he needs to realize you're not talking to MAGA. You already have them. You're talking to independent. Like there needs to be an affirmation on the phone and everybody around him, like just Marcus Aurelius used to have a slave behind him and say, hey, you're not as important as you think you are. Somebody needs to whisper to him right before he hits the stage. Remember, you're trying to win over independents, not MAGA. You've already won them over. Win over independents. That's who you need. He does that, he'll be the 47th president again.
All right, so who wants to play Marcus Aurelius, his little guy in the background? I think someone should whisper in his ear, don't play to the crowd, because you're right. There's a temptation as an entertainer, because that's at his core what he was for many, many years on NBC, to get the crowd going and get that action going. But that's not what the camera wants. The camera, you're speaking to the nation. And he does have to remind himself that if someone else isn't going to do that for him. Here he is with Laura Ingraham just moments ago. He was asked about Kamala Harris. Let's see if he was as disciplined as you say he needs to be. Watch.
Everybody knows who I am, and now people know who she is. She's a radical left lunatic. She'll destroy our country. She wants open borders.
Then why not debate her?
Well, wait. But because they already know everything. She wants to defund our police. She wants no bail. She wants no cash. You kill somebody and we're going to release you immediately. They call it cashless. By the way, this has been a horrible thing for our country.
Yeah,
this has been,
it really
I
has.
just said. But we know where she is. She wants high taxes.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter.
How would you assess that Kamala Harris attack there?
Look, I've been creating content since 2012, 2013. Sometimes I've taken 90-day breaks. I've done it 3 times. Reason for it is because I was no longer talking to the audience the way I did before. It was no longer fun. It was a grind, and the audience can tell on your face. My suggestion, that look when I see Trump's face, he's back to the grind phase. He needs to go back to 2015, 2016 speeches and listen to the way he spoke when he was selling the dream. Sell America. Sell your resume. Sell the greatness of this country. Sell how amazing of a job we did under your administration.
How come he hasn't interviewed
Trump?
Trump
How
yet?
my dreams can become a reality. Sell me what's going to happen when we get the money to go back into their pockets instead of the government. Sell me on that concept. Sell me the dream. Sell me America. I think he needs to go back to that because he needs to almost go back and listen to this RNC speech by himself. Nobody's around, in the bathroom. Pull up the phone and just listen to how amazing you were. That person at the RNC, nobody can beat. I said this on a tweet. I said, Obama at his peak, Clinton at his peak, cannot beat President Trump on the way he was at the RNC. They cannot. That's what they feared because they were divided behind closed doors. How are we going to beat this guy? This one you just saw with Laura Ingraham, my opinion, I know I'm going to get a lot of texts. You have no clue what you're talking about. Who the hell you think you are? You're just a regular guy. I totally get it. I'm giving my feedback. I may be wrong, but the way he spoke at the RNC, he won millions of people who never thought about voting for him. That's the president that can win.
Because he'd almost seen God. He'd almost gone to heaven. And anyone that has a moment like that and is that close to another world, you want to hear, and you're captivated by that. And he captivated the entire world for about 20 minutes.
It's true.
And then he riffed. And if he could stay in that zone, that kind of grandfatherly, gorgeous, above it all zone, and sell the American dream. She's going to destroy the American dream. I'm going to give you the American dream. That's on point. Patrick Bet-David, I think you should just work for the campaign. I think I need a 90-day break. Okay? Let's do it. I'll see if Fox is down for that.
Appreciate you, Jesse.
Thank you so much, Pat. Click here to subscribe to the Fox.
No, that was a good little interview.
Joining us now is Stacey Washington, host of Stacey on the Right, SiriusXM Patriot Radio, and Anton Daniels, YouTuber and content creator. Anton, let's start with you. You just went viral for an exchange that you had with a Kamala supporter. Let's watch.
Would you vote for?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm gonna just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Is it only because she a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
We're in 3 proxy wars. She failed at the border. She has no policy, no record to stand on.
Okay, Anton, first of all, I think I forwarded that to 20 of my friends. That was such an awesome takedown. But tell us about that, because I saw some of the other participants like nervously drinking their Coke or whatever they were drinking. But tell us about your interactions with people who happen to be African American who instinctively seem to go for Kamala because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's unfortunate because the majority of my interactions is me being looked at as the bad guy, because ultimately they think that I'm supposed to be on code, even though I know and they know that it's not in our best interest, in my family's best interest, in the country's best interest.
Yeah.
And when we continue to
I don't care. That's just ignorance. If you're going to vote for someone just because they're black, that's just ignorant.
play identity politics, the thing that they usually refer to is our previous history in electing people in office that ultimately even they will concede that they didn't have our best interests at heart. And so when I'm interacting with these people, often at times it's very difficult for them to step outside of being on code in order to do the thing that's even in their best interest. So I'm often looked at as a bad guy, but in reality, they know I'm telling the truth, and that's why it's so difficult for them to be able to convey and then debate what it is that I'm telling them, because they already know what the truth is. They're not unfamiliar with what it is that they experienced over the last 3.5 years. They're suffering. They don't have jobs. They have lower wages. They can't pay their bills.
Makes sense.
And so when they experience this, but it's very difficult for us as a community then break away from the popular thing to do because they don't want to be a part of the cool kids club anymore.
Well, Stacey, I have to say that seems to sum it up. It's reflexive, and it takes a lot of courage. You know that. Of course, Anton knows that. I clerk for Justice Thomas. I mean, they're still beating him up all these years later. So it's a tough place to be, but it's factually the right place to be. So, Stacey, how do you handle this? And by the way, Kamala Harris behind in Georgia in the swing state poll average, I think by 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. So she's speaking in Atlanta, lots of Kamala signs behind her. One white dude behind her, I see him. Stacey, thoughts on this?
You know, Laura, I think Anton hit the nail on the head. This is about policy, and no one, I don't care who you are, if you're a white woman, a black woman, it doesn't matter what your skin is. What matters is, how do these policies impact you? How does the policy of open borders and giving jobs to foreigners instead of Americans impact your bottom line? How does the double-digit inflation, which stacks up month after month, is cumulative, impact your bottom line? Can you still save money? Can you take a vacation? Can you buy that home? Can you upgrade? Can you move out of an apartment into a house? These are very real impacts. Anton described them well. And I think when I find people that only want me to address my life as if I get up every morning and say, what am I going to do today because I'm black? They don't understand me. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm just somebody's mom on the radio. I'm just somebody's mom on Laura Ingraham tonight for the first time. Thank you. But I'm sitting here listening to Anton. He makes sense. And what makes sense to me is what the policy is, you know?
Well, okay, these are facts, okay? And into the image making of Kamala, even the New York Times today, and forgive me for not having the direct quote, but the New York Times today had to write a piece about Kamala's biographical transformation. And there was a piece about how her father, who's of Jamaican descent, he was a Marxist economist at Stanford, socialist Marxist economist at Stanford. He's still alive. Very controversial, but he's a tenured professor at Stanford University. That she never really talked much about him, that he's kind of a footnote in her biography. But then she leans into it, Anton, and President Trump spoke about this with me. She leans into it, I guess, for her political benefit.
Absolutely. And I think that identity politics is the play. When you don't have anything...
Oh, it is the play with the Democrats. That's all they got. That's all these Democrats have nowadays is identity politics. They can't go on anything else. Their policies ain't shit.
You spent the majority of the time being absent, and then on top of that, you then advocated for being part of the alphabet community, which I call them, and then you failed at the border to the tune of the estimation of 10 to 15 million migrants coming into this country illegally.
Yep.
What else do you have to stand on? So then you start to lean on the thing that even black people, honestly, when I'm having these conversations, black people don't even consider her a part of the cool kids club, but they have to lean on it in order to have something to even be able to hold on to instead of just saying, hey, listen, Trump is the best candidate. They want to say that I want to be a part of the Democratic Party, so they figure out a way to validate themselves to be a part of this movement, which is not even best for them. It's silly.
Stacey, a friend of mine who went to law school with me, just messaged me. We were told from the beginning that they couldn't argue the issues. And they know that Trump is better on the economy, better on defending our interests, better on the border, stopping illegal immigration. He won't drag us into war. So all they do is revert back to the childish games as we saw with the white dudes for Kamala. I mean, how pathetic is that? It's almost like it's I thought actually a conservative must have made that. I thought that whole Zoom was created by a conservative because it was so repulsive.
Yeah, it's just
but
pathetic.
It was so funny. I think, and one of the people speaking, I think a lot of the mail-in ballots were hidden. But it's a very strange. They think that helps them.
Yeah, they do. But I think, there are people in America whose incomes are such that these double-digit inflationary impacts don't really mean anything to them. They're insulated from the policy decisions they make in the ballot box. But for most Americans, that's not the case. And even if you are wealthy, if you care about your bottom line, if you're actually very frugal and you pay attention to your money, you don't want to see double-digit inflation. You don't want to see America sending $200 billion to Ukraine. You don't want to see boots on the ground, our own children spilling our blood and treasure abroad for something that we really have no interest in. And you really want to see some cogent domestic policy that prioritizes some of our very serious issues that we had, even coming out of the pandemic: homelessness, mental health crisis, health care. There are some things we need to do.
I know, but Stacey, you're dealing in the realm of facts. When you actually see interviews, when people are pushed on this who are refusing to think differently, they'll say stuff like, well, but he's not going to be good on equity. Right, Anton? Equity. He's going to disembowel equity. And what I say to folks is, how's all the equity of the last 3.5 years worked out for your communities? Illegal immigrants using your schools?
It's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it's so funny because, I've been seeing this whole movement, right, where they first leverage sororities and fraternities as far as the Divine Nine to try to include them in order to try to get her to be obviously presidential. I don't think that it's working because everybody that's in my community and the people that I speak with, especially black men, are even disappointed in white men in that why would you then follow white women who are extreme feminists and then let them follow black women in order to try to be a part of this cool kids club
oh my God.
when you can't stand on policy and you can't stand on real things that's going to help everyday Americans, especially those that are in these Democratic hellholes that are suffering the most. It's insane.
Stacey and Anton, fantastic first appearances on the Ingram Angle. Love having you on, and I'm going to try to get the man bun guy on the show. Okay, we'll see if he can actually.
Pretty crazy, guys. Crazy times we're living in. What the? Bro, that is hilarious. Bro, she's a third-rate candidate. That's pretty funny. All right, chat. On that note, we're going to end it. I'm going to be streaming on my gaming channel here in like a half hour, 45 minutes. So I appreciate you guys all stopping by and hanging out with me tonight. We'll see you guys later. Peace.